Howdy fellas, thanks for being here. It is the 21st of June. It's about 4 o'clock in the afternoon. I'm late with this live stream, but let's jump in. I want to go over the AltSeason Copilot and go through Bitcoin prices. Just a quick one here, and then I'll sign off for the day and I'll plan a more detailed live stream later. I was really busy with my other project, AI Business Plans, if you want to check that out. All right, so Bitcoin prices. Now, we can see that we've crossed our EMA exit. So our system is in full exit. It's telling us to be in cash. It's given us that. We can see that it's given us that signal before and then turned around and made a bottom. And it's given us that signal before and turned around and made a bottom. So I'm always watching for that bottom no matter where it is. And now we'll go into the Bollinger Bands, and I want to readjust things here. Here on the 1 hour time frame, if we are going to get a turnaround, it has to follow a specific structure. It has to. It will make a 1, 2, 3 formation on some time frame. It could be super small. Sometimes it makes a V-shaped recovery, but 99% of the time there is a 1, 2, 3 bottom formation at the bottom of everything, and then it will consolidate. And it'll nest into bigger 1, 2, 3 formations. What I look for with the Bollinger Bands is that the price goes outside the third standard deviation, then it goes inside the second standard deviation and makes a 1, 2, 3, breaks the downtrend line, and then the EMAs on the small time frame would cross over, and we'd be watching for it to build a bigger 1, 2, 3 bottom on the larger time frame. So you may know that I call the 1 hour Bollinger Bands shark feeding zone, and the 4 hour Bollinger Band range as whale feeding zone. And they can, my conspiracy theory is that they can move prices within this range at will just to wreck us, the little guys or everybody who's got too large of a position on with too large of leverage and the stop loss is too close to the market. And you think that that's managing risk, but it isn't. So having a smaller position with your stops wider so that you can survive the shark feeding zone and whale feeding zone without it bothering you, that turns out to be better for me so that I can be less accurate on my entries. Now, what I'm watching for here is the 12 hour after it's pinched and it's gone wider. This is what happens in a trend, where the price will stay between the second and third standard deviation, and it'll just keep going and going and going as the bands widen out to let price go by. So I just want to track that out as it's happening in the daily. That's a big wide one. So I'm hoping on the hourly we get some structure. If we go into the 3-day time frame, I wanted to see where the daily and the 3-day bands matched up, so that when I do this, we can see that the daily's widening, but it's relative to the 3-day, it's still got lots of room. This could spike down to the 3-day and do a V-shaped recovery, which would be like a 1, 2, 3 on the 1 minute time frame or something. Anyway, the 3-day and the weekly. Now the weekly is pinching down like it hasn't on a top formation in ever. So when we're on a top formation, the weekly Bollinger Band width indicator should be at an extreme. It should be super wide to say that that's it. We've run out of however high we're going. And that's what we're seeing at these tops, is that Bollinger Band width indicator goes wide. And we're not seeing that now. Instead, we're seeing it pinch down, which to me means that we are probably going to get that liquidity grab spike down to those ranges that the Bollinger Bands give us room to go back down deep in here, consolidate, make a 1, 2, 3, and off we go. And I'm sure that if we go back into the history and we look at some of this stuff, clear off that indicator so there's no ghost. This is the kind of nastiness that we could be setting up for right now. Just a really nasty pullback just to wreck everybody. It's a liquidity grab. They push everything down to hit everybody's stops, and they've already got their stops, their entry orders way down below there. So of course it's a complete conspiracy theory, yet we got those big strikes off the top things are pinching down. If we do nail it down to those ranges at the bottom of the 3-day, it will probably coalesce at the same time that this weekly is pinching down to the maximum, to these ranges here where we're coming right down to it. This could take a long time. This could take months going sideways if we do pinch and go sideways. So in the meantime now, I want to see what's going on with Bitcoin dominance. There we go, weekly hammer reversal candles making a 1, 2, 3 top formation. That's to my liking. If it continues from here, then we're going to see that in the AltSeason Copilot down here. We'll see that first. We'll see these new alerts come through. We'll see those alerts transferring into hold status. So any new hold status coin are really going to be keen on. And any of these partial hold status coins, we could check those to see if they're going back to hold status. Those are the hot tickets right off the start here if Bitcoin dominance is dropping. And I want to reflect on the fact that when Bitcoin dominance does drop, things happen fast. So there's no, the only way to prepare for it in advance is to have a little bit there and then be determined that you're going to add on to that after it proves us correct. After it starts taking off like this, we want to add on to these. And if there's hammer reversal candles on the weekly time frame here, I'm super excited about the potential for some of these altcoins to be taking off. And so I'll go through the I went through yesterday's video and I went through a bunch of these so that you could check these alert statuses for the coins, and I'll leave you to go through that video as well. There's probably a link to it, but there's great stuff in there. I don't know the future, but this is the 1, 2, 3 formations I like to set up on, and if I manage risk properly, it works out well. So that's it for Bitcoin. I could take a while. We've got dollar index. It does look like it could continue higher. So as we are watching the closer and closer and closer time frames, this must make a 1, 2, 3 top formation of some sort inside this range before we're getting any higher. You know, like every time it breaks to a new high, got to start watching for a new 1, 2, 3 top formation. And it will start out on the small time frames, and we'll keep watching them. It's too small of a time frame for me to take any action on. Even if it breaks below this, I have to wait for the larger time frame 1, 2, 3s to start building up before I can start my structure. And then I do it small enough that price can range within that shark feeding zone and whale feeding zone. So that's it for today. Let's see. Oh yeah, here's the copy trading account still running at 177% profit for the closed trades in profit. So that's good. And here are some of the most recent trades. We got Alice that we've got into just recently on the 20th. The 19th we got into ARKM, and that's looking pretty good. Down a little bit on UNFI, AAVE, IMX, and there's a bunch more, but we'll look at that at a different day. That's it. That's all the time I've got for this live stream today, just to keep everything updated. The most important thing is to watch Bitcoin dominance. And as this tops out and comes down, we'll see the data first every single day in the AltSeason Copilot. So be sure to go over and check out the Bitcoin liquidation watch. It'll have a pie chart there that you can watch and keep a general eye on. When that yellow of the alerts is going wide, we don't want to ignore it. We want to play it really small, but we don't want to ignore it. Anyway, that's it for today. Thanks for being here. Trade safe and keep those losses small.